Hello and welcome to the Armory. Today we are talking about why you should go to the range. But first, if you're new to this channel, hit that like and subscribe button down below here so that you can be notified when there's new content available. Also, come visit us at thearmoryhub.com. So, why should you go to the range? Well, there's a few things I'm going to cover today. I might not hit all the reasons why you should go to the range, but I've got quite a few points here for you. So the first reason we're going to have is have fun. So going to the range for a lot of people is a fun experience. It's enjoyable. Sometimes it relieves stress. It just depends on who you are. You can also use it as a bonding experience. I know when I was a kid, my dad would take me to the range as something for me and him to do together. I do it with my kids. So going to the range is a fun experience that can be enjoyed by everybody. So that's going to lead us into our second item here. Becoming proficient in your weapon system is a very important reason as to why you should go to the range. No matter what you do in life, you have to start somewhere. And the best way to get better at it is by doing. And shooting a gun is no different. So going to the range, training, it all helps you become more proficient. So if you plan on carrying a firearm, one of the best ways in going on about that is to train with it. Go find a range that allows you to do holster drills so that if you carry a firearm on you every day, if you get into a situation where you do need to draw, you're not fumbling around with your firearm. If you have a firearm for home defense, or if you're a hunter, you want to go to the range and constantly practice with that firearm so that you are able to hit your target when you need to and minimize hitting things that are not your target. So becoming proficient with your weapon system is very, very important, and it is a good reason to go to the range. Our second topic here is going to be, well, actually it's our third topic now, is knowing your weapon system. So every weapon system is different. They all function differently. They're not the same. So like we got a rifle here and we got a handgun here. Depending on what we're using it for, we need to know how we're going to be utilizing it, how it acts, and how we are going to manipulate the firearm. So if I'm going out, I'm carrying a gun, probably going to be carrying a handgun because I got my concealed carry permit. I'm going to carry a handgun so I can conceal carry and protect myself if need be. I'm not going to carry a rifle, even though my state is an open carry state and you can. I'm not going to do that because it's kind of frowned upon. Yes, it's just because it's legal doesn't mean you're not going to get harassed by people that don't know the law. But with that said, going to the range helps you get very intimate with your weapon system here. And the more you use it, the better you get to know it. So you know how it's going to function. You know what to do if it jams. If you have a malfunction, you know how to correct it. All that's part of knowing your weapon system. So that is a very good reason for why you need to go to the range. Because if you don't know how your hunting rifle is going to shoot, how it's going to kick when you're out there on the stand hunting your deer or your bear or whatever you hunt, or even I'm just using a hunting as an example. If you don't know how it's going to act, you're less likely to use it, or you're going to be more hesitant to use it because you don't know how it works or you're not comfortable with how it works. So going out to the range and using it gets you more comfortable and allows you to really know the system. The next thing is a very, very important thing, and Initially, you don't need to go to the range for it, but it's going to be to verify your sights. So verifying your sights is very important. You can actually do this if you have the right tools and equipment. You can, whether it's iron sights like I have here on the A2, or optics like we have on some of the other firearms here, like a scope or a red dot. It doesn't matter. You can initially set it up using laser bore sighting, but until you actually put rounds on paper, then you need to, once you get rounds on paper, then you're going to know, hey, yeah, my sights are perfect. Or, hey, I need to adjust them like we did here. I took this out just yesterday to the range, and we got it sighted in. Had to make a few adjustments to the front sight post, and had to make some windage adjustment here on the rear. So there is that. So verifying that your sights are accurate is a very good reason for you to go to the range. Sometimes you may pick up a firearm, whether it's new or used, and I have seen new firearms have issues with their sights. May not have been pushed over all the way if it's a handgun, or installed correctly. Or actually, a good example, and this will be leading into one of our topics in this video. For example, say you build an AR-15, or you buy an AR-15 that has a A2 style front sight block. Well, I ran into this issue, and I bought this barrel. Front sight was canted, so the rear sight was all the way over. Couldn't go any further, and I still wasn't hitting the target right. So, and it does happen. I mean, it was a brand new barrel. Contacted the company. They got it fixed for me in no time. They didn't even have the weapon for 24 hours before they got me a new barrel, and they even instead of me remounting it to the receiver, they went ahead and did that for me. So verifying your sights is important, especially if you have a new firearm, or you got a new optic on your firearm. You want to make sure that you're going to be hitting. You also with that, so say you do get an optic, you laser sight it in, but you go shoot it and all of a sudden your sight's off. Well, you got to make sure you got a good sight, because if your sight's bouncing around from recoil, you'd rather find that out at the range than when you're needing it hunting or whatnot. Finding out that your rings on your scope are loose. I personally would rather go to the range and find all that information out firsthand. And we're going to be talking a little more about that here shortly. But now, the next thing you got to verify is your ammo. So, depending on if you're hunting or just a target shooter or wanting to carry a firearm, some firearms are picky on what ammo they use. For example, we got a 1911 here. And sometimes, if I want to put hollow points in this particular firearm, this particular 1911 does not like hollow points. It causes nothing but issues in it. But other firearms, they work well with hollow points. There's also some firearms that have issues with steel case, brass case. It doesn't matter what kind of case it has. They may have issues because of that ammo, or they don't like certain ammos. Some of these bolt action rifles behind me here, I got my hands on some soft point hunting ammo, and they didn't like the soft point hunting ammo in them. You go to chamber the round, and because of the way that soft point ammo is, it would just kind of bind up on it, and just wasn't the easiest to shoot with. So going to the range and finding out what ammo works best for the firearm you intend to use for whatever reason, I'd say that's a good reason. Also, if you have questionable ammo, it's good to find out if that ammo is going to work for you. Or if you're a reloader or looking to start reloading, it helps you gauge where your loads are at. Are they too hot, too not hot enough for what you need? So going to the range is going to help you determine all of that information for you. But as I was saying, when we were talking about scope issues and stuff like that is the reason why you should go to the range and check your sights. Our next topic is going to be verifying or finding out, do you have issues? And as I said, this was a good prime example here. And again, I actually had quite a few different issues with this one. And other than that, this receiver was built a little more on the tighter of tolerances. So I had some issues that I didn't foresee, that I've never had in any of my AR builds in the past. So I had issues with it, and some of them I'm showing you here in the video. And it's just I'm finding those out after you get the firearm or you build the firearm is very important. One thing we can talk about with that is this. I bought this one brand new. It did not come with the Russian red wood. It came with black polymer furniture. But this one here, bought brand new, straight from the dealer. Never shot. I always recommend, if you buy a firearm, whether it's new or used, before you take it to the range, before you shoot it, clean the weapon. As soon as I got home with this, I popped off the cover here, and there was a bunch of metal shavings from the machining process of the firearm that didn't get cleaned out. And trying to shoot that with those shavings in there could cause a whole lot of problems and weapon malfunctions. And finding out about malfunctions at the range is better than finding out you have a malfunction when you need it. So, it's not saying you're not going to have malfunctions outside of the range, because it's always possible. Things happen. But, I mean, that's an example here of why you need to inspect things first before you go out to the range to find out issues. But also, as I said, like this one here, you saw the videos with us having issues there. But like, say you get your firearm repaired, or you do your own repairs. Like the Enfield No. 1 Mark III we have here, we did some repairs on it. And we had to make sure everything was functional. If it's questionable, you can always mount it and then do a string pull to protect yourself. Or if you're confident in it, actually just see if it works. Like with the Enfield, we had to make sure once we got the new extractor in, the new ejector in, the safety, we had to make sure everything worked. And the only way we were going to find that out is by taking it to the range. And if you buy a brand new firearm, you definitely want to take it to the range, because you have a warranty period on your firearm. Some firearm manufacturers, they are lifetime to the original owner. Others, they are 1, 2, however many years. But you want to take it out sooner than later and make sure that the firearm is functioning properly, which this part here is actually going to we're kind of already going into the next part of our video here. We've already talked about a point that I was planning on originally, which is verifying the repairs. But we're talking about that now because finding out issues and verifying repairs are already together. But you get a brand new firearm, you want to take it out, make sure it works. If you're having issues, because it does happen. Just was on a group, and a guy was talking about how he had a customer bring a brand new rifle in, and everything was jacked up on it from the manufacturer. I'm not going to give the manufacturer anything. Told the guy to send it back and have them fix it. Last I knew, they did fix everything, so they made it right. But finding out sooner than later if you have an issue with a firearm is better than waiting on it, especially if you have that limited warranty period. And again, used firearms, you want to make sure that they're going to work for you, whether you're a collector or plan to be a collector, or if that's all you can afford at the time. you want to make sure that it's going to function the way you want it to function. And if not, you need to make sure that you get it fixed so that it does function. And then you can verify the repair afterwards, which then goes into the verifying repairs. Is anytime you get one of these firearms fixed for whatever reason, whether you get a new barrel put on or whatnot, you want to make sure that whoever did the work, whether it was yourself, a gunsmith, or the factory themselves, you want to make sure that that work was done properly. Because if it's not done properly, you want to get it back to them as soon as possible so that they can get it done correctly. I mean, it should be done correctly the first time, but we're all human. Things do happen. I'm not trying to make excuses for them, because I personally, whenever I fix something, I go out and I make sure it actually works, and I make sure it's going to do what it's supposed to do. And even with my friends, when they say, "Hey, I have something going on with this," I'll look at it, and then I'll either tell them, "Hey, go here, go talk to this guy," or if it's something simple, I may just go ahead and do it for them. But I also make sure that what I did is right, that's not going to harm them. So verifying your repairs or the repairs of the dealer or gunsmith is important as well. I mean, I'm not saying don't trust your gunsmith, but it's very important that you know that your stuff is fixed, so that way you can use it. And that's going to lead us up into our last portion of this: reasons why you should go to the range. And that'll be break-in periods. So a lot of manufacturers, if you buy a brand new firearm and you read the owner's manual, a lot of manufacturers state that there is a break-in period. And what that is if you have issues, you're expected to have issues within so many rounds before it's supposed to operate as it's supposed to. So, for example, some manufacturers have a light 50-round break-in period. Others have a 500-round break-in period, which is a lot of ammo to use, but they do have it. And that's just so tolerances get worn to where they need to be, and everything is worked itself out and operating smoothly. And you got to clean your firearms during this to make sure that everything's operating, to make sure they're cleaned and lubricated to help with the break-in period. As I said, this AR that I built, I never expected to have a break-in period with it, but this one has some tight tolerances, and the more ammo I shot through it, the better everything got, and now it's actually functioning as it's supposed to be functioning. So this one ended up with a break-in period. 1911s are one that are known to, from the factory, to have a break-in period if you buy them brand new. I have one. We've already done the video on the Rock Island. It's functioned flawlessly for me. Even though it has a break-in period, it's functioned flawlessly for me. This Springfield, not so much. It did not function flawlessly for me. I've had nothing but issues with it. So even after the break-in period, I had issues, but I've had this thing since, it's been almost 20 years now since it's been in my family. So it's not like it's a new gun anymore. It was brand new in 2006, but it's been in the family since 2006 as well. And since I'm not the original owner of it, there's no warranty on it. But again, like some of your shotguns, your semi-automatic shotguns, they're going to have break-in periods as well. I know the Panzer Arms M4 that we have, that one has a break-in period. It's stated in the user's manual. But again, like I've had other firearms that quote-unquote have break-in periods and no issues. PS90, the only issues we had was with our magazines, and I'll show you that here. we had one magazine that was failing. My daughter was shooting, and that is actually a reason why when you find out issues, you want to make sure your magazines are all working. So go ahead, take all your magazines out with you. I forgot to put that in that segment, but you want to make sure all your magazines are working. Like this one here does not work in my Steyr. I have not tried it in the AR. This is a Pro Mag, but I was eating more ammo than I was shooting. So because my ammo was just getting destroyed because of the magazine, whereas this old Vietnam style 20 round AR mag works flawlessly in everything. So you want to check your magazines. You want to check your magazines, especially even during a break-in period. You want to check your magazines, make sure it's going to work, because maybe some of your issues that you're having in a break-in period, it could be from your magazines. So you want to make sure of that. So like sometimes you might buy a couple magazines here and there, and just go shoot them all. You might actually have one that's bad, none that's bad. Hopefully, I'd hope you get none that's bad, but it does happen. So, a lot of firearms manufacturers do require a break-in period before you contact them about warranty if you are having issues. So, make sure you get through that break-in period before you decide, hey, I have an issue. Now, if you have like catastrophic failures or something like that during your break-in period, that's a different story. That's an actual issue. But like if you're having rounds jamming or failure to ejects every now and then, that could be, or failure to feeds every now and then, that could be either a magazine issue or it could be a break-in issue until it's broken in. But if you keep having those issues after your break-in period, I would talk to either a gunsmith or to the manufacturer if it's still covered under warranty. So I know this was a long one, and I do apologize. I was trying not to make this one as long as it is, but this is I personally think this is real good information, because I know some people that have guns and they never shoot them. So that's one of the reasons I made this video, is to give you a reason why you should justify yourself going to the range. So we will be running some maintenance series, so we'll do a maintenance series on the AR-15 here eventually. We'll get back to our roots on our history and development of our firearms. We got some of those in the works currently. We also have, in good news, is we've had our meeting with the ATF agent that is in charge of us getting our FFL, and now we are just waiting to receive our FFL in the mail, so that will be coming soon. So if you visit our site at thearmoryhub.com, you may see some changes here in the near future, because we are constantly adding new products, and we will be also adding a section in there for used items such as used military surplus, and once the FFL hits, you know what else is used will be in there. So we hope you enjoyed this video. We hope this video gave you some good information, and we really hope to see you again next time on the Armory.